With the floods situation across the country, and 5 bodies were retrieved this evening from River Kwamuswe in Kasikeo, Makueni County, after a lorry that was to ferry more than 15 people across the river was swept away by floods. The Kenya Red Cross team has rescued 11 of those who are on board the ill-fated lorry. Emily Korir begins our bulletin.
The scene at Kwamuswe River along Sultan Hamoud Kasikeo Road in Makueni County. More than 15 people boarding this lorry that was also ferrying ballasts with the hope of crossing this swollen river that residents say had been impassable since morning. Seconds into the journey, the driver lost control as the swollen river won the strength of wheels. Those on board suddenly at peril in a fight for their lives as the waters forced the lorry off the road and into the river proper. Other residents who had gathered on the banks of the river on either side watched the horror unfold, somewhat helpless, unable to offer much by way of meaningful help, as the brief turning became the worst of nightmares. The incident raising questions on the risks Kenyans are taking during this heavy rains period when the downpours have become a threat almost across the entire country.
So vile mtu ilikuwa imefunga hapo watu wakawa waja cross kutoka asubuhi ngoja maji ipungue. Around saa 5 saa 6 lori mbili zikakuja zimebeba kokoto hapo zinaelekea upande wa Kasikeo. Ile ya kwanza ilienda successfully, ya pili watu wakaona kwamba they can also cross. So wakapanda lori ya pili.
So far, 5 bodies have been retrieved from the river, while 11 people have been rescued. 8 people are so far listed as missing, with the exact number of those who boarded the lorry yet to be established.
This is a calamity now. We need to do something about this bridge. Because maji inapita hapa inakuwa ni mingi sana. Kuna shule mingi side na zingine the other side of the road. Now it is especially this time watoto ni risk sana. The national government pamoja na county government they need to think about this bridge. Something has to be done. Either waweke zile rails za chuma ama the thing of a bridge inapita juu.
Na watahadharisha wananchi wa Kasikeo. Maana zaidi bado mvua inaendelea kuanguka. Mambo ya kuvuka mto ovyo ovyo wawachane nayo. Na sasa hizi nilikuwa naelekea area inaitwa Katingila ambao pia watu wawili pia walibebwa na maji juzi.
According to the government, 70 people have been killed by floods across the country, with 130 families displaced. 4 billion Kenya shillings has been set aside as a national intervention fund towards mitigation of the effects of floods.
We'll also be able to put some money, some resources to the roads department through the various agencies so that we can be able to restore the bridges, we can be able to make sure that we help in unblocking the drainages, and where roads have been broken, they can be restored so that people are able to go about their work. We'll be able to put some resources to the public health state department to be able to make sure that we don't have disease outbreaks, to make sure that issues of cholera and malaria are contained.
The government has assured Kenyans that schools will reopen as scheduled next week, save for those that have been extremely affected by floods that will experience a few days' delay. Education PS Belio Kipsang says the ministry is working with counties to ensure safety of children as they return to school for the second term.
The schools will reopen as scheduled, as planned. But where there are cases where the people on the ground, the county governments plus the national government administration and the directors of education in those respective counties make a recommendation to the PS basic education, we can always extend for a few days as things settle down.
And as the rains continue, the Kenya National Highways Authority has notified the public to avoid using the old Athi River Bridge, saying the bridge has been severely damaged by the heavy rains and is on the verge of collapsing and posing significant danger to both pedestrians and motorists. The Kenya Red Cross announced on its X account the successful evacuation of 41 people, 30 adults and 11 children from Malimo to Laini in Kilifi County. According to the Red Cross, the neighborhood was marooned due to the overflowing of River Sabaki. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV.
The Jomo